Hey everybody, I'm Madalyn Sklar. I am the host of the Social ROI Chat, and I have here with me Luria Petrucci, who is awesome. We just had the most amazing hour. Luria, how are you?
I'm exhausted. What energy. I mean, I was telling you, I haven't done a Twitter chat since 2007. So you have me hooked again on Twitter, and I'm still not done answering questions. So I can't wait to get back in there. And
I know. It's fun, isn't it? It's just, I love Twitter chats. I think this is such a great way to connect with people. So the topic today was why live video matters and how to do it like a pro. And I mean, you are such a pro at this. You talked about on the Twitter chat that you've been live streaming. You know, a lot of people think live streaming is new. And like I was in the music business for 21 years, and I was doing live streaming at South by Southwest like 10 years ago. So how has this like evolved from that time to where we are today?
Yeah, it's not anything new. And, you know, I mean, they're tried and true things that are going to hold true regardless. The thing that's different and that has evolved is the more social aspect of it and the ease of access, right? It's definitely more accessible because anybody can do it now. When I started back in 2007, you know, I was doing it on Ustream from a studio using a TriCaster. You had to have some fancy equipment in order to do that. And then also I was doing Quick, the first mobile live stream.
Yes.
And I think we were still on 3G data at that time. So definitely, or even maybe 2G. I don't even remember, 2007. But, you know, it was the first mobile live streaming app. And definitely the quality wasn't there. The ease of access wasn't there. And so that's what's changed and gotten such, you know, so much attention now.
Yeah. Exactly. During the chat, we talked about 4 levels of live streaming. This is something I've heard you talk about on podcasts. You wrote about it, Social Media Examiner. Can you kind of walk us through these 4 levels and why, you know, we really need to look at this before we really get going into live streaming?
Yeah, so the 4 levels of live streaming really help you understand kind of where you are, where you should start, and where you want to go, right? So the level 1 is just your phone. So it's raw, it's easy, it's free, it's accessible, and you will always use a level 1 or level 2, even if you're doing more professional live streams, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So level 1 is the mobile, and then level 2 is your phone plus some gear. Level 3 is more of a USB setup. So actually what I'm doing right now, I've got my Samson Meteor mic. It's a USB mic, and I'm in my office, not my studio right now. And so you can use, you know, a USB webcam as well. And then level 4 is adding some more gear. So a fancier, you know, camera, like
this.
Yep. What are you using?
Oh, this is my podcast setup, which is so perfect for live streaming on a desktop. I got the Heil PR40 mic, which makes me sound great. And I'm using an external webcam, a Logitech webcam. So, you know, I think a lot of people already have a decent external webcam, so they could easily do this from their desktop. They just need to invest in a microphone, but it doesn't have to be at this level. You know, the mic that you're using, those are very affordable, right?
Yeah, so the Samson Meteor mics are $69, so that's a good level 3, you know, setup. And that you're using the Heil PR40. I also use a Heil PR40 in my studio, and you'll notice that in my live shows, when I'm in my studio, it's got like depth of field. It looks pretty, right? It's good video at that point. And I actually can completely switch a TV quality production show on level 4 using some additional gear that I just have several, like I have 7 buttons that I hit. And I get all the things, like I get my lower thirds up on screen. I get to share my computer screen and do presentation slides if I want to, and play videos. So it's very possible to run a TV quality show yourself. It takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of a learning curve, but it's there.
And you help businesses and brands. Like I remember when Pat Flynn was, talking about this new studio and it was being built and doing all these bells and whistles. And then I watched when you first did the broadcast and you guys were there and like you guys helped set up this entire system. And now Pat Flynn does it all by himself. So I guess, you help businesses get set up with this in person if needed. And then you teach them so that they can just push those buttons and do it themselves. Can it really be that easy?
It can be. Like I said, it takes some learning. It's a learning curve at level 4. You got to be willing to put in a little bit of time, a little bit of money, a little bit of effort. But
right.
If you're willing to do that, if live video is part of your business strategy and it's part of your marketing funnel, then absolutely it's worth it. Pat Flynn, like you said, we set up his studio, Amy Porterfield's, Michael Hyatt's studios. So, they're all using it not only for live video, but also recorded video, and interviews, right? So like if I were down in my studio, I could actually pipe in my high quality camera into, you and get even better quality.
Yeah, that is super cool. We got people here watching us live. I definitely want to acknowledge we got Joe and Kevin and Jim and Natasha. If anybody has any questions, feel free to post it. We are watching. Appreciate you guys being here. I feel like today, with where we're at with technology, there's no reason.
Hold on. There you go. I accidentally hit the live button. I was trying to look at the comment.
That's what I love about live. Like this is real. Like, and there's no editing going on. Like this is what you see is what you get. That's what makes it so great. I'm a huge fan of live streaming, but these days there's no reason to not pick up your phone, hit the button. It's as simple as one tap and you are live streaming, whether it's on Periscope, Facebook, YouTube. Is so simple now. One of the questions we talked about are what are some of the key elements that marketers should be aware of when choosing a suitable workspace? This is where I do my live stream. I have my Twitter Smarter sign up there for when I'm, doing my Twitter Smarter stuff. I still need a social ROI sign, but I do have my little social ROI mic flag here. I don't know if it really shows up on the screen too well. This is what I made. It's not like super fancy like what you do and what Pat Flynn does, but it does the job. So what are your recommendations?
Well, like you're saying, you're showing you're in your existing office, right? You haven't built anything like we do for our clients and ourselves, right? But that's all you need. Like you don't have to have a super fancy setup. I highly suggest you have a dedicated space though. The more dedicated is like what you've done, you've put some personality up there, right? And I love that. That's you. And that tells people what they're getting when they join you without even you saying a word. But the more dedicated is, the more likely you are going to actually do your live shows. We all make excuses when things get hard. And so the more difficult you make it on yourself, the less likely you will of actually going live. And then there's, of course, the normal things that you got to focus on. Lighting, audio is absolutely key. So if you have a lot of noise around you, then make sure that you minimize that as much as possible. I mean, heck, we even in our studios for going the cheap route, we'll do moving blankets. We'll hang moving blankets because in our space we had a lot of echo. So if you're dealing with something like that, you don't have to get the fancy, TV or like voiceover kind of foam. You don't have to get that stuff because it's really expensive. Moving blankets is our trick to doing it inexpensively.
That is so super smart. I think really people just need to put something together and just start doing it.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. I think it's really important, and we had some of this conversation going in the chat. I highly suggest that you start with your phone, right? Like, don't try and do something fancy like what we're talking about at level 3 or 4 until you get used to live video. You need to get engagement. You need to get people invested in you. You need to build that know, like, and trust. I highly suggest that you actually do level 1 and level 2 streams and what I call live streams. These are more raw, more engaging. You're like you're bringing your audience along for the ride. And if you decide to do a weekly show, live streams are a fantastic way to build up an audience to that live show. So you talk to them about the process, you're getting set up, you go behind the scenes in that process, and then people will actually show up for your live show because they're invested in that process of you moving towards that with them. And the more investment that you can get from them and the more engagement through your mobile streams, your live streams, then you'll see a big difference to your live shows.
And what kind of tools do we need to do all this? I mean, of course, our phones, that's the simplest and easiest way to go. For this, I'm using BeLive, which, is just a cool website that I discovered last year that offers the streaming service. What are your recommendations for this?
So, BeLive or Ecamm are great places to get started. I love Ecamm. If you're going to do an interview show, then Ecamm doesn't currently do that. However, it is coming from them.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, either of those options are more inexpensive, easier ways of getting your feet wet. And as you move up and as you want more, fancy stuff, if you want to be able to do a lot more and have TV quality productions, my favorite is vMix, which is not one that most people have heard of, but it's a fantastic solution that offers a lot of options, putting comments up on screen, all the TV quality stuff. So that's a PC only, unfortunately, but PCs, actually, we should talk about this. PCs are actually better for live video than Macs are.
Really?
And I'm a Mac girl. I'm 100% a Mac girl, except for my live stream. And then that's PC only. So it's just
interesting.
Yeah, the way for the money that you can get, you would have to get an extremely souped up Mac in order to match what you can get on a PC. In terms of all the processing, I won't get into all the tech mumbo jumbo, but in terms of how it's built and how the software is built to take advantage of the guts of a PC, it's better.
Okay. Well, that's interesting and good to know. How do we get viewers on? I mean, I've been doing a variety of live streams, and sometimes it's easy to get, I don't know. You tell me, let me ask you this, because this is something I'm trying to figure out. I experiment. My thing is experiment and see what works and what doesn't. I have found that if I do native Facebook desktop and live stream, but I can't do this, I can't do a side-by-side interview. The share screen just started yesterday, and I had it yesterday. It was awesome playing with that. But it seems that when I go this route, I get way more viewers. But then when I use BeLive, and I'm assuming it's because I'm using a third-party service, and maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like there's not as many people, or maybe maybe they're just not showing me the people. When you're doing Facebook native, you just keep showing name after name after name that's joining, you see on your screen. So what are your thoughts on this?
I have done a lot of testing as well, and I can't say that that's actually true. It doesn't seem like Facebook is giving priority to their own tools versus third-party tools. I think that that would be a stupid decision on their part, because they don't have all of the the fancy stuff that you can do with other things, and they work very closely with other third-party apps and companies. So through all my testing, I cannot see that that's actually true. But one of the things is, if you're doing it, let's say on Facebook, right? Since we're here on Facebook. If you're doing that on Facebook, a lot of you have the personal profile and then the page. And so what you'll find is that your page gets less interactivity or engagement and views than your profile. So what I do with my one-on-one clients when I'm working with them, I actually have a story from Brian and Carrie Live. They had the 0 page engagement. They had a brand new page. And so what we did was we actually very strategically moved people from the profile to the page. And now their page has all the engagement. So this happened within 2 to 3 months. So if you take it strategically and with a consistent approach, you will see results. And it's all about strategy to get live viewers. So one of the things that we did was we actually went live to their page, and they were using a phone at that time. So we went live to the page and they were talking to the page. Over here from another phone, we had the behind the scenes view, and you could see like the lighting. They were further away. The audio wasn't as good, and they weren't looking at the profile at that stream. And so then what we would do is they would turn to the profile people. It's like, hey, over there, you're in the cheap seats. Get on over here. You know, I can't see you. I can't talk to you. So basically things like that. We did a lot of different things very consistently to get people from the profile over to the page. So it's definitely possible. Use your assets, your email list, your social media, promote towards what you're doing. A lot of people miss out on their email list because they don't, I don't know why, but it's a really powerful method.
Definitely. I totally agree with you. And I do experiment, like we're doing this on Managed Twitter's page. And then when I do my other Twitter chat during the week, I do the live stream on my personal profile, and I'm at the 5,000 friend max. And I find that I get a lot more people when I do it on a personal profile versus a page. And I guess just part of the whole engagement thing with Facebook.
Yeah. But remember, you can't, as I think it was Tim who just said, you know, you can't run ads on a profile, right? And so
I know.
I want your live shows or your content to be on your page if at all possible. And that's why I created that method of like moving people over.
Super smart. I'm going to have to get with you on that and get your input. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about, you did a tweet when we were doing question 6, and you did this as a bonus tip. You said on Facebook Live, you can use bots during a live video and use this to have them subscribe to notifications. And I saw you do this on one of your many live streams. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so Facebook Messenger bots are an incredibly powerful tool for, it's only Facebook, but so you can't do this on YouTube or Periscope. But Messenger bots, if you're not familiar with them, is an automated communication method between your page and the viewers or somebody visiting your Facebook page. So what I like to do is use Messenger bots in live video, strategically, of course. And so what I will have them do is one of two things, and actually usually two things during each show. Have them subscribe to show notifications. So they literally type the word while you're live or during the replay, show, and my bot, my page will automatically have them sign up to get subscribed to my bot, so that when I go live, they are alerted through Facebook Messenger, which of course is definitely more accessible than email. The other thing that I do with that is actually get leads this way. So if I am talking about one particular thing, like if I'm talking about messenger bots in my live video, that's my topic of the day, I will deliver a checklist or a cheat sheet or a PDF of some kind of opt-in or lead magnet, and they will type in checklist or cheat sheet or whatever I have them do, and then they will get that delivered to them through Facebook Messenger. Now, here's why that matters so much, is because when you're like 80% of people are watching live videos on their mobile phone. So when you're giving people a call to action, asking them to go to a link, what are you asking them to do? Either you're asking them to remember that URL, not going to happen.
Right.
Or you're asking them to leave your video right then and there to go visit that URL.
Right.
that's a bad choice. So both choices are bad. That's why I love Facebook Messenger bots, and I'm getting 30, to 90% click-through rates. I'm getting 70 to 100% open rates.
Wow. I love it. What a great way to do this. So what tools are out there that allow us to do this?
I use minichat.com. They have a free version, and I'm actually opening up some training soon on messenger bots in live video. I already have a training on that, but I'm really targeting it on how you do it for live video and get those capture those leads and nurture them for the sale. So.
Awesome. I'm going to post this link as manychat.com. So I posted the link. And real quick, I see that Tim had a question. He says, usually you have to pick out the post in the bot to activate this. Or are you doing this on the countdown post?
Yeah, so I do. It's much easier to schedule your streams on a level 3 or 4 or through Be Live, and that way you can connect the bot to your live video. If you're going to do it through your mobile phone, then what you have to do is you have to go live, then you have to connect the bot to your live video, and that's a lot more annoying to have to deal with while you're live, right? Or
Sure.
Have somebody on your team or a volunteer or somebody do that for you. So it's definitely a much smoother process if you do it by scheduling your streams.
This has been so much great information, Luria. Thank you so much for being on the Twitter chat and then coming on our after chat live stream and sharing all of this extremely valuable information. What is the best way for people to get in touch with you? I don't know if you're going to say Twitter. I have a feeling you might not say for today, right? Twitter today.
Twitter, always Twitter. Yeah. No, I am responsive on Twitter, Luria Petrucci. Facebook, we're live every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So whatever platform you like, then you can join us there. And livestreamingpros.com is the website. And we have a free training section on that website. You can go get all the content your heart desires.
Awesome. Well, you have so many great videos free out there on training. You have one on how to do these bots on Facebook, right? I'm pretty sure I saw one. Yeah, that's so awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. This has been great. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back next week to do this all over again. So we'll see you out on Twitter. Take care. Bye.